Right there on your screens right now, Taliban entering the outskirts of capital Kabul. That is what we're breaking at this point of time. For our viewers who have just tuned in, take a look at the news that is coming in. Afghan officials saying the Taliban have entered the outskirts of capital Kabul. The insurgents, as we've been saying, have not immediately acknowledged their presence in the capital. Taliban has issued a statement as well after entering the outskirts of Kabul. We'll get you that statement in just about a bit. Geeta, if we have that statement, they say that ordering forces not to enter Kabul. That is what Taliban is saying at this point of time. Geeta, do we have a copy of this particular statement? Because they're on the outskirts now, and there's a statement coming in saying they will not enter.
Well, we have a copy of the statement, but it's in Pashto. The translation of which is available in a few paragraphs on social media, which clearly says, and the translation on their own Twitter handle says that they're asking and instructing fighters not to fight Kabul. That's not it. There are also translations to that entire statement wherein it says the Taliban fighters are instructed to stay at the gates of Kabul and not enter the city until the transition takes place. The Afghan government is responsible for the security in Kabul.
Right. Hold on right there. We also have Shiv Arur joining us on the phone line right there. Shiv, the big question, has Kabul fallen to the Taliban? While Taliban has made this particular statement saying we will not enter, what is your sense?
Look, Taliban is the Kabul is the country's capital, Chaiti, and these social media statements are can't completely be taken at face value, because the Taliban also realizes that unlike Mazar-e-Sharif and Jalalabad and to an extent Kandahar and some of the other provinces, overtaking Kabul is not going to be as simple, because there is a great concentration of the Afghan military forces, some of the foreign forces who continue to be there. The US is evacuating people from there as well. So there are all these challenges which are there in Kabul, which are not necessarily existing in some of the other provinces which have been completely abandoned. And so it was pretty much a walkover for the Taliban there. So you must take the Taliban statement about Kabul with a little bit of pinch of salt, because after all, this is a terror movement. It's a terrorist. It's a terrorist group. Let's not try and dilute what we're dealing with here. This is an organization that slaughters its enemies, oppresses women, creates bands of sex slavery for its own benefit. This is a group, a terror group that has been accused of war crimes by several different countries. So let's not make it seem like this is some kind of a government force that is going to negotiate with the powers that be in Kabul, and then there will be a peaceful transition of power. Nothing of that sort. This is a calculated move by the Taliban, in my view, because they assess and gauge the situation in Kabul as being not as favorable, I would say, as it is in other places. The takeover of Kabul is perhaps only a matter of time, because the Taliban is a very, very powerful terrorist movement, and after the United States has pulled out, there is a great level of chaos, uncertainty. There is a complete breakdown in chain of command there. The Afghan forces have been left completely rudderless and motherless and fatherless in many ways. They cannot fight the Taliban by themselves by any stretch of imagination, no matter who is actually there to help them. So what we're seeing actually is a sort of series of inevitabilities, Chaiti. But the Taliban has been a force to reckon with in Afghanistan for decades together, and they know what they're dealing with. They're not just a bunch of ragtag suicide bombers, unlike some of the Pakistani terror groups. And even though they are funded, trained, and guided by the Pakistanis even now, they have to take these calculated moves so that they can extend their power for the longest possible time.
So what are the options available at this point of time, Shiv? The people of Afghanistan, of course, strongly advocating sanctions against Pakistan, but with these developments coming in, with them already on the outskirts of Kabul, surrounded it by all sides, what are the options available at this point?
Sanctioning Pakistan is a completely separate issue, Chaiti. That will have to be done by countries dealing with Pakistan. I don't think it's going to happen in any real measure because sanctioning Pakistan would mean the United States being on board to sanction Pakistan because the United States and China are the two biggest partners of Pakistan right now. And unless they sanction Pakistan, nothing's going to happen. And even if, in an ideal world scenario, assume if the US sanctions Pakistan, Pakistan still has China, which is also, as you know, a state sponsor of terrorism. This is a country that blocked the designation of Masood Azhar as a global terrorist at the United Nations multiple times until India was able to prevail upon them. So you've got China, which is a sponsor of terror supporting Pakistan. China, which already has established links with the Taliban. Wang Yi, the foreign minister of China, met the Taliban at the end of July. So the Taliban has very, very powerful friends right now in the form of Pakistan and China. The United States has already washed its hands off Afghanistan. The only reason they're back there is because they need to rescue their staff from the US embassy. That is the limit to their current involvement in Kabul right now. So in every other way that you're looking at this, this is a disaster that is unfolding before the world. The Taliban is only possibly a matter of time unless there is some kind of united global intervention to stop them. This is not a terror group that you negotiate with. There is no such thing as a good and bad Taliban. The only language that the Taliban understands is absolute and utter force. And if it actually comes to that, a lot more blood is going to be spilled in Afghanistan.